In this video, I'm going to build these woodworking crafts. Now, the one thing these all have in common is I got the idea from them all by watching YouTube. So these are the favorite Christmas crafts that I've seen on YouTube so far this year. Yeah, there's a few more, but this is all I could fit into this video. So in this video, I'm going to show you me making these. Welcome to another episode of Hoarders. Actually, this isn't an episode of Hoarders. This is just my wood shop here. And all the wood piled all over here has a date with a saw at some point this winter. But what we're worried about now is this stack right here. Now basically this is a stack of 1-inch pine boards, or 1 inch thick I should say. And they're just cut-offs from a barn I'm building up north. And I didn't want to burn them, so I hauled them home. I knew I'd come up with some idea to make something out of them. And my wife's been watching the YouTube, and she's seen a bunch of projects that other people were making that she says, hey, can you make me this? Can you make me that? So that's what we're going to do. The mission today is to turn this into a handful of projects that my wife found on the YouTube. And it's kind of like stealing, but I'm going to change some stuff up on them. I hope I don't get a lump of coal in my stocking for kind of stealing the general idea of people's projects. But hey, they had great ideas and we want them. So the first two ideas that are coming under attack by us, and they actually are nice enough to have patterns that they link you to for free. The first one is on YouTube channel Wood Geek, and they have a link to this little pattern. What, you hang an ornament in this little spot here. And then the next one is on DIY Thosa. And it's roughly the same concept. So now both of these, when they built them, they did them on nice hardwood and they sanded it down, made it look all pretty. Now I'm a little rough around the edges, so I'm going to go with a different plan of attack, especially since I'm using scrap wood here. I'm going to use a Dremel tool and give these trees some texture. And then I'm probably going to paint them up, put a little glitter on them, make them sparkle. I guess you'll just have to watch, see how it turns out here. All right. Now, when I'm doing a pattern like this, and I'm lucky enough to have a pattern, I basically take this 3M spray adhesive. You spray it on your board, cut your pattern out, and stick your pattern on. I was searching for a word there. Now you notice this isn't 1 inch thick anymore. I basically run 2 of them scrap pieces through the planer, brought them down to a 1/2 inch thick. Now I'm going to go over and I'm going to attack them with the bandsaw and then the scroll saw and get these bad boys cut out, and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, here's 2 different styles of trees all cut out. Now they're ready to add some texture with the Dremel tool. I'm just going to use this little burr bit and carve some swooping texture in. Let's get her done, see how it looks. All right, we're back at the craft table and we're ready to put the bases on. All right, now basically I just spray bombed the base white and I sprinkled some glitter on it, drilled a hole in the bottom of her, and we'll get the screw through Okay, and in the bottom of the tree, I drilled a little starter hole to make it nice and easy. So you just find that, screw her on. Now I recess the hole in the bottom of the base for the wood screw so it doesn't stick out, so she can sit nice and flat. All right, that's good and tight. All right, we're back at the craft table, and I figured I'd show you what finish I put on these trees, because I tried a couple different ones out. Well, to be honest, there's more finishes you could put on these than there's reasons to drink, but I'll show you a few of the finishes I put on, just so if you don't like it, you don't have to waste your time trying it that way, or if you do like it, you can copy it, because copying's fun. All right. Our first lovely model we have here, we have a nice meadow green Rust-Oleum paint, accented with some white Walmart craft paint, woo, and then sprinkled liberally with glitter. And the base is just a white spray paint with glitter on it. And then ornaments, that's just 100% personal preference, obviously. I kind of like this tree. The reason I went with the white accents, and that leads into the next tree, is this was the first tree I did. And again, on the white accents, when you set this tree off in the corner, it kind of blends in like it's camouflaged. Another thing I didn't like about this tree, I thought, oh man, it would be cool if I did a heart base. Well, you stand back and you look at your tree and it looks like it has two big feet on it. So I don't know if I'd really recommend the heart base. But the glitter really pops on this one. You know, I guess it's better than a sharp stick to the eye, so I'm going to keep it. I really like the ornament on this one. And that's another reason with the big base, that ornament's kind of heavy. And with the regular base, it wanted to tip over. All right, on to our next tree. This one, I did a little more painting on. Besides the green and glitter and the brown, I actually tried to paint some ornaments on. I just used blue, and then I did some red tinsel looking paint on it. So I don't think that looks too bad. But again, it's all a matter of personal preference. All right, now on to the little tree. All right, now here's the little one. This one's actually finished on both sides. I kind of like it. Again, it's the green, some white snow, you know, just craft paint. And then to hang the ornament on this one, because there's no hook built in, I just drilled a hole and I threaded a piece of metal through there. All right. And then last but not least, this little guy, the same pattern as the last one I just showed you. But this one, I drilled a hole in the top, stuck that piece of metal through, and I'm kind of using it as a Christmas ornament. All right. Now the only bad or downfall to this one, you hang it on the tree, it blends right in. You can't see where it is. Well, all right. That's the first project off my list. Let's get on to the next one. All right. Here we are back at the messy craft table, and we're going to make some snowflakes. Now this whole snowflake idea and the way I'm making it is I'm copying what Matthew Peach put out on his YouTube channel. And that's basically how I'm going to make it. I'm going to use his idea for the template, because this idea for the template, man, it's like a broken drum. You can't beat it. So basically, you cut the pieces out, and he shows you how in his video, but I'm just doing a quick overview of making one for myself. Well, not myself, my wife. So you take your template, you take your fancy pieces, you put your good side down, because that's the side everyone's going to see. I already got a little glue smeared on these. I'll add a little bit more just because in the 10 seconds I've been talking here, some of it looks like it's drying up. All right, so we got a little glue on there. Now we make sure that's good and rubbed around. Then we take our backbone for it, whatever you would call this piece. You set her on. Hold her where you want it. I got 3/4 inch brad nails here. Ooh, I almost nailed it in the wrong spot. Can you believe that? That would have been horrible. All right. So what I've been doing, nail on one end, then I go to the other end. Try not to nail your finger to the piece. All right, then put a nail in these. Now, the nails aren't really holding too much. They're just there to hold it together till the glue dries. All right, now, so we got to be gentle with it while the glue's still wet. And then when it's like this, I take a piece and I wipe the glue off that squeezed out. The only thing I did different than he did in his video is I pre-made these pieces. Instead of having them loose, I put glue on them and I shoved a nail through the side, and then I sunk it down with a little punch so it's even. That way I could have a nice tight seam right here. I preferred that. So basically you make two pieces like this, and then you're gonna make one piece where the entire pattern here is filled with pieces. Ooh, exciting. All right, we'll get that ready. All right, we got all these pieces in our template. As you can tell, these pieces right here, there ain't gonna be much, you gotta be kind of accurate with your nail. There ain't much gonna be going on to the main backbone here. So, we nail it on just like we did the other ones. Okay. We line her up. Oh, look at this, big old hair in there. All right, get her lined up. Ooh, gotta be gentle. All right, there's our last piece. Now, after you take it out of your template there, just want to eyeball it, make sure everything's where you want it. And then, I would advise leaving it sit until the glue dries, so you don't accidentally move any of these pieces around, because you can still, with that nail in there, get everything centered exactly. And like now, I'm just going to leave it. I really like the way that one looks, so I'm going to leave it for about half hour, let that glue dry up. All right, it's time to assemble our snowflake here. Basically what I did is I took the two simple ones, flipped them over, I measured and found dead center in the back of the backbone, and I drilled a hole. So basically both simple ones, and I drilled the hole big enough so I could put one screw in, and that screw's going to go through both of these without biting, and then it's going to go into this one. So I just started the screw into this one just to make it easier. All right, so we'll put that together now. So I'll put the screw in. Okay. Now I'll put a little glue, because I'm really counting on the glue to hold it more so than the screw. Alright. So we just get it going through there again. I don't necessarily want it biting in these first two pieces. Okay, and then when we put it on here, we want to have it so obviously the screw is going to go into the started screw hole, but so these angles match the angles in these center pieces here. Okay, so I'll get some glue on there. All right, we get our screw into that center hole. All right, screw her down. Whoa. All right. Ooh, easy. And remember, when you adjust her, you just want to use the backbones Like I just bumped that little star because I didn't wait completely like I said I should until the glue is dry. And that little point moved. Alright, so now we get her all straightened out. Okay, this one could move just a hair. And then moving that one, you gotta move that one. There's our star. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna spray bomb it. And then while the paint is wet, I'm gonna drizzle glitter over it. I'll go get that and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, I'm back at the craft table, and the snowflakes, the paint is all dried, so I put some white paint and some glitter on. I don't think they look too bad. Again, I got the plans on how to build these off of Matthew Peach's YouTube woodworking channel. I think they look pretty good. I'm looking forward to hanging these up. Looking at these snowflakes reminds me every time it snows, I'm always looking in the window and my wife asks me why. And I'm just hoping one day she'll let me in. All right, I guess that's enough of snowflakes. Let's move on to the next project on the list. All right, the next project we'll be doing is the Christmas tree candle holder. I can't even give credit to who did this because there's multiple videos on YouTube of it. So I'm just going to throw another one into the mix and show you how I'm copying their general idea. All right, now basically what we got here, you need a block 3.5 by 4, and then you find the center on your board, and you center your block up and draw a line. All right, I like to keep my trees around 10.5 inches long, so 10 to 10.5, anywhere in there. So I put a mark, and then I just draw the outline of my tree on there. Obviously, it took me 2 tries on this one. It just seemed too skinny. That extra 1/4 inch made all the difference, really, yeah. All right, then after that, any other detail would be, normally I like to keep them like 8.5 or so. And this board isn't 8.5. I can't stretch it, so this is going to be a tree on a diet. Okay, now after you got your tree all figured out here, kind of like to draw the center line. All right, and then you can kind of draw your rough pattern, you know, on what you're going to carve out, because I'm going to carve this out with the Dremel here. All right, so a little over center line, little over center line. Just try and keep them swooping, and then you reach a point, you're going to want to add like a middle one. There's really no wrong way to do it. I mean, it's art. You can't be wrong, can you? Oh, I don't like that though. That's wrong. I just said you can't be wrong, and that right there, that's wrong. Okay, so we'll go like this. That never existed, no. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll go over and I'll cut this out on the bandsaw, the general shape. I'll put some notches along here, and then I'll cover up with the Dremel and show you what it looks like. Alright, this is the general outline of the tree before we hit her up with the Dremel. Let's go hit the Dremel and see what this bad boy is going to look like. Alright, so we got our tree here, and we took our base, we drilled 2 holes in the back of our tree, and we drilled them big enough so the screws wouldn't bite into it, and we pre-drilled 2 holes into this little base that we painted white, and then we stuck our screws in and screwed this base to this tree. Now you notice after I spray painted this tree, I took some white craft paint and added a little snow. Now we're gonna add the magical part. All right, I take this matte clear coat and I start spraying her on. Then I take my glitter and you just sprinkle her on, just like it snowed. Of course, you ain't gonna get it all, so I like to flip her on her side. And sprinkle a little on like this. All right, the magic has happened. All right, back at the craft table, and I got the candle holder project done. All right, now the original video I seen on the YouTube, they built a candle holder like this, which is nice. I built a couple of them, but this just isn't my style. Although I did mix it up a little, I added a little glitter. Why? Because I like glitter. And I thought it'd catch the light of the candle, you know, sparkle a little bit. But what really is more my style is the carved with Dremel look. I really like that. This one I added snow and glitter. And this is the one I built in the video. And I think that's a pretty cool little candle holder. I know it's gonna sit above our fireplace, so I better like it. Different styles I've made. I made the green one, you know, nothing added other than some glitter, and I use green glitter instead of white glitter on this one. And that one, you notice a lot of these trees, I kind of like them where they're crooked, a little better than straight. Like this is a straight one. All right. But there, that wraps up my footage on making a candle holder. I highly recommend making one. Super easy, fun, and they look cool. All right, this video is getting pretty long, so I'm probably going to copy a few more projects, but they're not going to be on this video. Maybe I'll make another video if anyone watches this one. all 2 people that watch my videos. But yeah, this one's getting long, so I'm going to wrap her up. Oh. Kick back, watch the game. Hey, can you get me another drink before it starts? This one's almost out. God, that's good. Hey, can you get me another one before it starts? Whew, dang, these are going down smooth. Can you get me another one before it starts?
You know, that's already your 3rd drink, and you just got home 20 minutes ago.
Now it starts.
You know, honey, I've been watching the YouTube, and there's a couple woodworking projects I've seen people make that I would like you to make for me, just because you love me so much. One is this cute little snowflake, and the other one is this little tree. It's got an ornament inside of it. So, you know, if you could do that for me, I could do that thing you really like.
You mean you cook food for me?
Oh, yes. I will cook you food. I'll run right down, and I'll make the best homemade tombstone pizza you ever had.